Hey, before we get into this, I want to tell you about my website, portraitartacademy.com. The link is below the video. Okay, no more promotions. Fine, let's get started. This is what I did to get it closer to the image. See, and I start out with a light pencil. Even with the eyes, you start out with light. This is my HB pencil. And then you can use the 3B pencil. But even there, I start out by just lightly touching it, constantly double checking, triple checking, making sure it's okay, and then going over it, and then going over it again, and then maybe pressing a little harder on that HB pencil so that everything becomes a bit darker and a bit more defined. And then when I feel ready, like I got all the proportions right, like every millimeter is correct, and it looks good, and it looks like her, and it's all in the right place, then you use the 3B pencil. And make sure it has a sharp point too, because if it becomes too thick, then, you know, especially with a detailed image like this. See what I'm doing here? I'm defining the jaw and the neckline a little bit more, but there too, don't do it too much. You have to look at what it looks like in the photograph, but because it does have a line there in the photograph, see, it's okay to do that. It's good to do that in a portrait drawing too. See, now we're putting a little bit more dark here in the nose. It's okay to put those nose holes. See, that's another space where the light doesn't come very much, because it's a hole. It's two nose holes, right? So it's darker in there. So it's okay to make it a little darker than the rest of it. And always make sure you use this line kind of to define a little shadow between what's here, right there, and the cheek. The cheek stands out. The cheek is lighter always, because here is a little bit of a dent in it. And then the chin, all very careful, gradual shadows. Just really touching the paper a little bit here and there. A bit more over here. See? See, I've touched this a bit harder with my HB pencils, but now I still didn't mess up yet. So I'm not going to, but because I did that, I could still like take it easy and not have to worry about having to erase anything. See, now I'm taking the 3B pencil, and now I'm like, okay, let's emphasize the top. I think I want to do that still with the HB. See, it's not as dark as I thought it would be right here, but on this side it is. So that's where I put the 3B pencil, and then I start adding more darkness to the eyes. It's better, by the way, if you draw one of those lights. Here it's like kind of a broken light, so it's like two little lights. It's better to make it bigger at first, and then if it's too big, color more later. Because it, like I said, it's annoying to erase, and you might mess it up that way. So make it bigger at first, and then keep making it smaller and smaller by coloring more of it. Kind of exaggerate how big it is at first. And then later, if you want to make that light area, that little light in the eye smaller, yeah, then that's fine. The mouth, yeah, the mouth. The mouth is tricky. See, I'm kind of drawing those lips, but very lightly. It has like this little wave in the middle, of course. Lips always do. But you can barely see it with her, because she kind of like has the lips You can see the top a little bit, but not even the bottom. Some people have very defined lips, and she doesn't have that as much. So I emphasize the line a little bit more, the dark line. Kind of try to make it more gradual by putting more shadow on this side. What's inside the cheek here, not the cheek itself, but in between the cheek and this area, right? What is this area? The area between the nose and the mouth, right? You can see it starts to look like her already. I mean, I took my sweet time. I smudged a lot. I was very careful. I didn't touch the paper didn't put too much pressure on the paper. And then on this side of the cheeks, it's always a bit darker. See, the cheeks really stand out. The cheeks have to be almost white or completely white. And then here, the light doesn't touch it as much there. So this has to be a little darker. But not a lot. Just a little bit, okay? See, very lightly touch the paper with your light pencil. And you can smudge it a little bit, but just take it easy. Just very slowly go from one shade to the next. See, underneath here it's a bit darker. So here it's okay to do that.